Let's turn to the actual strike itself. What was your own immediate reaction when you heard the news of the death of Soleimani? And what, in your view, has been the reaction of Chinese experts who follow these issues closely?
Actually, I'm now become a big mouth, Most of my colleagues, they just keep quiet. They are much more clever than I. They just keep quiet.
Well, we appreciate you being a big mouth because you can join our podcast.
So my reaction is that it's a big mistake. It should not be the choice of the United States. The small countries like Israel, they're surrounded by all the enemies, right? And their situation forced them to do something like that. But the U.S. is top leader of the world. Should not be the choice of the United States. I think from any perspective, strategically, morally, and legally, that's wrong. That's a big mistake. I think the U.S. owns much more choices than small country like Israel. It's better to deal with Iran in a political way. Something like you deal with former Soviet Union, just wait, contain, and wait. Something happen in their home, then you get a chance. Actually, this is a assassination, right?
You see this as an assassination?
Yes.
Not a legitimate strike against
Definitely
an international
not.
terrorist.
Yeah. It's broke international law. It's illegal.
So you see this as the U.S. violating international law?
Yes.
Secretary of State Pompeo was on all of the Sunday morning political talk shows.
Yes.
Calling Soleimani a terrorist, describing him as a terrorist. He used the word several times. But this is not the way you see it?
Yeah. I think our official voice is that General Ceremony be put on the sanction list by UN several years ago, but that's not defining him. The UN resolution not defining him as a terrorist, but linked him with the nuclear program of Iran, because the UN said your nuclear program has problem, right? It's quite military oriented. That's no good. So then China agreed to put some sanction on those people relating with nuclear program, but not define him as terrorist.
In the United States, you have a range of reactions, some condemning the strike, saying, like you, it was a mistake. Others saying it was the right thing to do. But one thing that seems to be fairly common, regardless of where you stand, is a view in the United States that Soleimani was not a good guy. And that he had the blood of hundreds of Americans on his hands, and that he in some ways deserved what he got. How is it seen in China?
As I said before, between Iran and China and the United States, China keep it neutral. And we tend to believe the escalation of tension between these two players should be blamed or take responsibility by two sides, okay? Not the fault of one side. That's unfair. The Iran, after the revolution, Islamic revolution, they take some radical behavior. And that's one of the reasons leads to this tension. And the U.S. also react very strong. So U.S. also should be blamed to some extent, So from Chinese perspective, both sides should be blamed. And as the high-ranking officers of one side, what he did in the past just served his own country, And just like CIA guys in Middle East did many bad things in the name of United States, the national interest of United States. So the American people take a very negative, perception on General Soleimani, but on their country, he's a hero. He's a saint now. So
I notice here in China, there's been a lot of coverage of his funeral
and
mourning of his death across Iran. They've been covering that quite extensively. You've seen that in Xinhua, Global Times, other major Chinese news outlets covering very much the funeral.
Yeah. I think that's just nature. This news is very valuable for any news agency, right? In the saint city of Qum, there are only 5 million residents, right? 3 million came out for this funeral, right? So that's a real big news. So just nature.